Thank you for staying with us. We've been breaking down information on the Sikh temple shooting, and of course, even what we've covered so far, it's a lot of data points. Not everything's confirmed yet. We are exploring, we are researching. This is happening in real time. So information is coming in. We're going to try to connect the dots as best we can. And I know also, of course, you can just bet that in the next 24 hours, a lot more is going to come out on this. And Alex himself will be able to bring you more detailed breakdown of this entire event tomorrow as he returns to hosting the show. But for today, continuing, here's what we've got coming up. We're going to continue with callers who have information. We've got Chris Holding and Rick and TJ and Clark and others, former and active law enforcement and some military. We've also got breaking news about another armed raid on a farmer in Canada this time. He's going to join us for just a few minutes in the next hour. He's been charged with 14 counts of conspiracy, or wait a minute, facing 14 years in prison based on the conspiracy charges against him for farming sheep. Yes, raising sheep on a farm in Canada. So the assault on farm freedom is continuing. We've also got information about the deception of the Susan G. Komen organization has just been attacked in the British Medical Journal, the BMJ. Two scientists have come out and accused Komen of running deceptive advertising that intentionally misleads women into getting mammograms that 9 times out of 10 actually harm those women. So this is another assault. We've got news about the Obama campaign website now selling hemp scarves on their website, selling hemp products, but the hemp is imported from China, not the United States, because it's still a criminal offense to farm hemp in the United States. So why is the Obama administration or the Obama campaign marketing people, why are they supporting communist Chinese jobs in China, but not allowing American farmers to grow hemp right here in the USA? Also, we've got breaking news about chemotherapy that's going to shock you. Just out yesterday, it turns out that chemotherapy causes cancer. Yes, chemotherapy causes cancer tumors to grow more aggressively. It backfires. This is shocking news out of the medical industry that chemotherapy backfires and causes more aggressive cancer, and it causes resistance to future chemotherapy. So all of that is coming up. Plus, we've got a video for you coming up in the third hour, why doctors are more dangerous than guns. And then getting back to the Second Amendment issue, we're going to continue to break down the Sikh temple shooting and the assaults on the Second Amendment and the pattern of drills that always are found to be behind these shootings that have a specific agenda, that always go after helpless groups of people. Alex just said it on the phone in the last segment that they're going to go after people in malls, in churches, in movie theaters, in stadiums, at sporting events. This is where people are typically unarmed and easy to have shot in order to create mass casualties, in order to create the reaction, which is a nationwide call for gun control and the disarmament of the public. But you know what? Think about it. Gun control is not gun control of everybody. It's selective. It's only about controlling, or that is disarming guns from the citizens, while concentrating power, concentrating firearms in the hands of the government itself. So while they're working to disarm the American public, they're buying 450 million rounds of hollow point 40 caliber ammo. They're buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of AR-15 rifles. They're buying the 223 ammo, the 5.56. They are arming up while disarming us. That's the real agenda. So all of that straight ahead, plus more calls. Stay with us here on the Alex Jones Show. We'll be right back. Continuing here on the Alex Jones Show, it's Monday, August 6th, 2012. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, editor of Natural News, filling in for Alex today, who is tuned in to everything that's going on. He's doing research right now. He's already posted a video on YouTube, which we played earlier. He's calling in, he's texting in with additional information. The crew here is hard at work. Again, this is a coalescing, a developing story We're collecting data points to try to connect the dots on what really happened with the Sikh temple shooting. A lot of it already doesn't add up, and lots of red flags that indicate this could be another piece of the pattern of staging false flag events for a particular political agenda. Now, I want to give you my own personal opinion on some of what's going on here. First of all, I am extremely saddened and extremely frustrated at the fact that we have to interrupt our normal pursuit of happiness and pursuit of awakening and health information and all of these things to deal with these staged events that government operatives or dark evil groups within those agencies are perpetrating against the American people. I do not want to come on the air and talk about people being shot. I cover it reluctantly because we have to. We have to fight for our liberty, which means we have to face reality. But I would much rather be here teaching you about how to protect your vaccine rights, how to say no to the vaccines, how to say no to the fluoride, how to protect yourself from the evil death agenda of the cancer industry, how to boost your cognitive function and awaken your brain through nutrition and foods and all of these things. That is what I am really about as the Health Ranger. That's my specialty. And that's what I'd rather be talking to you about. But then at the same time, I'm an advocate of the Bill of Rights. I'm an advocate of the Second Amendment. I believe in the Bill of Rights. I believe in the Constitution. I am a hardcore libertarian constitutionalist who believes in the greatness of America and in our ability to overcome in any kind of challenges to our freedom, whether it be oppression or tyranny or these false flag agendas, whatever the case may be. We have to overcome that. And so I think much like Alex, we reluctantly cover these issues because if we don't, we have no future. Think about it. You know, you can't just bury your head on your own house or land or your own farm. You can't just bury your head in the sand and ignore all of this and hope it goes away. It's not going away. They are coming after us. The clock is ticking. If you're out there right now and you haven't purchased the firearm that you legally need to purchase to get squared away, if you haven't purchased the ammunition that you need to protect your family and your community against whatever might happen down the road, you need to get on it. You need to get on the ball and take care of that right now. And I bet you that gun sales to legal citizens are skyrocketing today once again. And they doubled after the Aurora, Colorado shooting a couple of weeks ago. I bet they're doubling again today. You know, from normal levels, not doubling from the Aurora levels, but once again spiking up to that double level. I bet they are. And that's a smart thing to do because we are under attack. Our freedoms are under attack. People, remember this. Remember this, that disarmament is the first step to mass murder. Every government in history that has committed genocide against the people, that has committed mass murder, has first sought to disarm the public. Why? Because they don't like people shooting back. What tyrant wants to risk his troops getting shot at by an informed, aware, armed public? They don't want to take that risk, so they pass disarmament first, just like they did in Australia a few years back, and then the people are much easier to control. But the bottom line is, folks, as the Health Ranger, this frustrates me to no end that we've got to deal with this, but we do. We have to deal with it. I'd rather be talking to you about these other things to help awaken you, to help nourish you, to help your brain get off the psychiatric drugs, get off the toxic chemicals, get off the synthetic pesticides, get back to basics, self-sustainable living, permaculture, gardening, raising your own food, because that's where the minerals come from the soil and get embedded into your body's tissues so you can be healthy, so you can operate with awareness and stamina and a sense of courage and be determined about moving forward to protect our future. It comes from things like home gardening, believe it or not. Sometimes gardening really is the answer. And that's why that's under attack. And we got a story for you coming up shortly about the rancher in Canada who has been raided at gunpoint by Canadian law enforcement and is now facing 14 years in prison there for an alleged conspiracy. And this is on top of all the raw milk assaults in the USA. And I probably need to share with you some additional news on that as well. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and share that with you right now briefly, and then we're going to go to more callers. So, Chris, you're up next from the National Guard. Be ready. But I spoke with James Stewart. He called me from Ventura County Jail over the weekend. He is in jail. He's the raw milk man in California who has been just falsely accused of these financial crimes related to investors in a farm in Ventura. And I can tell you right now, those charges are utterly and completely fabricated, and the agenda behind that is funded by the FDA. The FDA is giving money to the states to assault raw milk farmers. So at every level, whether it's an attack on your farm, whether it's an attack on your home garden, as happened with Julie Bass in Oak Park, Michigan, or the woman in Tulsa, Oklahoma, whether it's an attack on your Second Amendment rights, whether it's an attack on the water in your city through fluoridation, which isn't even fluoride, it's a conglomeration, a cocktail of toxic chemicals that dumb down your brain and actually give you cancer. And some of those are even radioactive elements in the fluoride. No matter what the assault, they all have one thing in common. It's about global control over you. It's about controlling your food, controlling your defense, controlling your medicine, controlling your money and your finances, controlling your reproduction, controlling your private property, controlling your mind, controlling what you think, controlling the narrative, controlling the stories that you believe to be true, which is why they're repeated over and over and over again in the mainstream media. And I'm sorry if I'm rushing through this. It's just there's so much rushing through my thought process that you need to understand. And part of this is that if you really want to awaken, folks, you got to take care of your brain health. You got to get off the chemotherapy. You got to get off the fluoride. You got to get off the psychiatric drugs and off the vaccines with the stealth cancer viruses in them. Your brain has to function well if you are going to stay awake and fight for liberty and freedom and restoring this republic, the United States of America, which we are losing by the day now. It is slipping away from us so rapidly. I am concerned that we're going to be in a martial law situation by early next year, spring of 2013, if something doesn't change. We're slipping into that realm very, very quickly. And it is scary that the public isn't awakened more about this. I know that we in the liberty movement, we are awakened, but the public, they are lagging behind so far, and they're being swept into the false narrative through these staged shootings and through the mainstream media and their explanations, which are almost universally false. But the mainstream public is being swept into this, and they can be dangerous when they're disinformed, which is what they are, because they can call for things such as disarmament that can put us all at risk. So that's my 2 cents on this. I want to go to Chris in California with the National Guard. Chris, you're on the air. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi there. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I know this is off subject, but I just want to make a few quick points on 2013. I have some friends who are active duty infantrymen, and in 2013, if you could go on Google, all you have to do is type in U.S. Army 1st Infantry 2013 Africa, and it pretty much breaks down everything.
And what's the summary of it? What are they talking about? Hit us with it.
Well, in 2013, Air National Guard, Army National Guard, Air Force, Navy, pretty much our whole military is going to go to Africa.
All right. Is it okay, folks? Thank you for your call. By the way, I want to focus today on what's happening with the Sikh temple shooting and people who have specific knowledge about that. So I appreciate your call, and that is an important piece of the puzzle. But let's talk about what's happening right now today. Let's go to Rick in Virginia, Navy veteran. Rick, you're on the air. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I want to talk about his other than honorable discharge for misconduct. My own personal experience was kind of weird in the sense that I